Hello everybody, welcome back to Canada's Boxing Channel. So, Martin Bakole and Joe Parker. Joe Parker and Martin Bakole. Well, again, hats off to Martin Bakole, who took this fight at almost ridiculously short notice and flew from the Congo to Ethiopia to Dubai to Riyadh. It was a massive ask for him, and he was a massive man. He looked enormous. I mean, officially, I think he weighed in at 310. To be honest, he looked bigger, I thought. But anyhow, first round, I thought they both looked kind of slow, and I was wondering. Well, I can see Parker is enormous, but of course Bakole is enormouser, and I was wondering, had Dubois not been taken ill, how Parker would have fared, because Bakole, of course, was plodding. I mean, the man's not in shape. The man is not in fight condition, right? And I couldn't help but think, if we saw some version of Dubois like we saw against Hrgovic or against AJ, how would this go? I guess we'll never know. I have my doubts that that Parker will be given an opportunity against Dubois. I'd like to be wrong on this, but I have my doubts. Anyhow, the fight with Bakole was just sort of like the rhino versus the hippo kind of thing. There was a couple of shades, or flashes rather, of Bakole's hand speed in the first round, but no real, no real contacts, right? And they tapped gloves at the end of the round, all very, very sportingly and gentlemanly. And then the second round, there was a massive hit landed by Parker on Bakole, and Bakole shook his head, and oh wow, that's that he can take a hit. Well, a couple of not minutes, I mean a few seconds later, he caught one on sort of on the top of his head, which I thought that he was going to sort of again shake off, but then his legs went from under him and he went flop back. As the lack of training, oxygen to the brain, not seeing the shot, it's a tricky place to get hit, and clearly Parker, 267 pounds, is landing a lot of power. Well, Bakole goes down, Bakole gets up, but Billy Nelson is already on the apron, and so it's a wave off, which I think is fair. There's absolutely no point in Bakole taking unnecessary damage. He's shown up. He's shown that he's game. He could, what's the point, I suppose, in letting him continue? Of course, there have been fights where people have been down 2 or 3 or 4 times and they've come back to win. We're in different times now. Nobody wants to see Bakole very badly injured. It's not like he is in fight shape. Had he been in fight shape, then I might have been saying, oh, they should have let him continue to see if he could have gotten through the round and maybe made a bit of a comeback. But as a person who's not in fight shape, it's almost cruel to sort of say to him, go on, carry on, because I think he would have carried on. I mean, I don't think that there's a lot of quit in a guy like Bakole. I mean, I know the Michael Hunter story is still spoken of and stuff like that, but I think he would have carried on. So I think Billy Nelson did the right thing to pull him out. I'm really hoping that everybody remembers that Bakole flew in at the last minute, was jet lagged. If it's not jet lagged because of time difference, it's being on a bloody airplane for best part of a day kind of thing. I mean, I get I get bagged flying down to see the grandkids in Los Angeles, and and that's the same time zone. So, but I hope people remember that, yes, Parker has got a TKO against Bakole. That's great. I'm not taking anything away from Parker. Parker is my guy. I got money on Parker. I thought Parker would win against Dubois. Though I'm kind of pleased that that the bet was cancelled, in a way. But I had money, of course, on Bakole. On Parker to beat Bakole. So I'm not taking anything away from Joe Parker. But I do think that we should make one of those little asterisk marks in our minds next to the victory, because it wasn't a match fit Bakole. And so I hope that while we give Parker his flowers, and I'm not taking anything away from him, we don't sort of try to write off Bakole now and say, but Bakole, he was beaten by Parker. I hope that there isn't this sort of revisionist history, because that's always the risk, right? When somebody steps up and sort of, what's that old expression? No good deed goes unpunished. And so hopefully we don't see that. I suspect that we will, quite frankly. I would like to see Bakole get a shot at another, top elite level Riyadh season event when he is match fit, because I think that's fair. He deserves it. Parker, after the fight, was saying, what have I got to do to get a world title? Frank Warren, set up something with Usyk. I didn't see Frank Warren rushing in and grabbing the mic and saying, yes, of course. My spidey sense tells me that Joe Parker is still sort of like the red-haired stepchild a little bit, and that the golden boy is in Frank's stable is still Dubois, and that Dubois is being groomed for the ultimate goal of Usyk. Personally, I don't really want to see that. I mean, Usyk seems to have to beat everybody twice to get respect, especially from British fans, to be perfectly frank. I did notice, however, that AJ, who was speaking with Ade before the Parker Bakole fight, when Ade said, we're great heavyweights here, AJ, and AJ said, well, where's Usyk? Where's Usyk? AJ speaks very highly of Usyk, and that's pleasing to my ear. I would like to see Parker be given a shot at Usyk, or I would like to see Ajit Kabayel be given a shot at Usyk. As I've said before, I'm not super excited about the idea of Dubois being given another shot at Usyk. It's a fight we've seen, and I don't think, quite frankly, he deserves it. That's my opinion. I know that a number of people will disagree with me. Dubois has got lots of fans, and I respect that. It's just that, I think I'd like to see Usyk fight somebody else. Kabayel or Parker are the two names that are in my mind as being very worthy opponents. Anyways, it was I can't say as the fight Parker-Bakole was a good fight. It was short. It was over quickly. There wasn't much back and forth. But no disrespect intended to either of them. They did both, take my hats off to both of them. They kept the card alive, and they entertained us for like a round and a half. It'll be interesting to see where both their careers go. Let me know what you think about everything I've said in this video. And now we must get ready for the last bout, the main event. Beterbiev and Bivol. Should be an excellent fight. I hope it's not a controversial decision, and I'll catch you at the end of that fight and we'll wrap it up there. Cheers. Thanks very much, everybody. Bye-bye.